Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying this: there is power in silence. You see, too often we feel the need to share every problem we face with the world, looking for sympathy, advice, or just someone to listen. But here's the truth: not everyone needs to know what you're going through. And in fact, telling people about your problems might do more harm than good. When you keep your struggles to yourself, you give yourself the chance to grow stronger. It's not about bottling up your emotions, it's about understanding that the first person who should care about fixing your problems is you. The moment you start relying on others for solutions, you give away your power. Now, I'm not saying that seeking help is wrong. It's important when necessary, but be cautious about where you look for that help. Some people will only offer you sympathy, and sympathy can be dangerous. Sympathy might make you feel comfortable, but it rarely pushes you toward progress. What you need is action. What you need is to focus on solving your problems, not dwelling on them. Another reason to stay quiet about your struggles is that people can use your vulnerabilities against you. Not everyone in your circle has your best interests at heart. Sharing too much opens the door for judgment, criticism, or even betrayal. Guard your mind and your heart. Protect your weaknesses like you would protect something precious, because in the wrong hands, they can be used against you. Silence forces you to channel your energy where it matters most, on the solution, not the problem. Every minute you spend explaining your hardships to others is a minute you could have spent working on a way out. Keep your head down, focus, redirect that emotional energy into something productive, and watch how things start to change. Ladies and gentlemen, the next time you're tempted to share your troubles, ask yourself, will this move me closer to a solution? Or am I just looking for comfort? The answer will guide you to where you need to be. Let's talk about the power that comes with silence, especially when it comes to facing your own problems. Silence is often misunderstood. People think that if you're quiet about what's troubling you, you're weak or bottling up your emotions. But in reality, there is immense strength in keeping certain battles to yourself. When you don't constantly voice your struggles, you allow yourself the space and clarity to deal with them in your own time, on your own terms. This is not about hiding or suppressing your feelings, but about reclaiming control over your situation and emotions. You see, the moment you start telling everyone about your problems, you lose a bit of that control. You hand over your power to the people listening, even if they don't realize it. And more often than not, people can't do much to help you anyway. They might offer words of sympathy or temporary comfort, but they can't really solve what's going on in your life. And that's where the issue lies. By sharing your troubles with others, you start to expect that external support will make things better, but it won't. What truly helps is your inner strength, your resilience, and your ability to navigate challenges without depending on others to validate your experience. When you keep your problems to yourself, you become the main actor in your own story. You are no longer waiting for someone to come in and fix things for you. Instead, you understand that the only person who can truly fix what's broken is you. This mindset shift is empowering. It allows you to take full responsibility for your life. You realize that while others might listen to you, the real change, the real growth comes from within. And sometimes it's through silence that we can hear the loudest voices of all our own inner wisdom and strength. Silence also gives you the chance to reflect without interruption. When you share your problems with others, their opinions, judgments, and even well-meaning advice can cloud your thinking. You start to doubt your own ability to handle the situation. You might even begin to shape your decisions based on what others think instead of what you know is right for you. But when you keep your struggles to yourself, you allow your mind the space to process things clearly. You're able to sit with your emotions, understand the root of the problem, and come up with your own solutions that are often more in tune with your personal values and needs. Another aspect of keeping your struggles private is that it helps build resilience. When you rely on yourself to work through challenges, you grow stronger in ways you never thought possible. It's like a muscle your ability to handle hardship strengthens with use. Each time you face a problem on your own, without seeking external validation or comfort, you build confidence in your own ability to cope. And the more confident you become in handling life's difficulties, the less you'll feel the need to share every struggle with others. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about isolating yourself or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. There is, of course, a time and place to seek support from close friends or professionals. But what I'm talking about is the tendency to vent to anyone who will listen, hoping that somehow talking about your problems will make them go away. The truth is, it won't. In fact, constantly talking about your problems can make them feel bigger and more overwhelming than they really are. The more you talk about something, the more power you give it. And sometimes the best thing you can do is to take that power back by keeping quiet and focusing on what you can control. In the end, silence becomes a tool for self-empowerment. It allows you to stay focused, to maintain control over your emotions, and to handle your problems in a way that is both mature and effective. You stop seeking external validation, and instead you find strength within yourself. You stop waiting for others to give you the answers, and you start discovering those answers on your own. That's where real growth happens. That's where real change begins. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you're faced with a challenge, remember this, you don't have to tell the world about it. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stay silent, trust yourself, and allow the power of your own resilience to guide you through. In that silence, you will find strength, clarity, and the solutions you've been searching for all along. We live in a world where sharing our problems with others can feel almost instinctive, whether it's through social media, casual conversations, or even with close friends. Many of us feel a need to voice our struggles, hoping that someone will offer sympathy, comfort, or validation. But here's the thing, seeking sympathy doesn't fix your problems. In fact, it can create a false sense of comfort that delays the real work of solving them. Relying on external validation from others won't bring you the solutions you need. Only your own action and determination can do that. When you seek sympathy, you are, in a way, asking others to share your emotional burden. You want them to acknowledge your pain, to understand what you're going through, and to offer support. And while that might provide a brief sense of relief, it doesn't change your reality. Your problems are still there, waiting for you to deal with them. Sympathy can make you feel understood, but it rarely leads to the kind of action that brings about real change. In fact, it can become a distraction, something that makes you feel better temporarily, but doesn't help you move forward. There's a dangerous trap in becoming too comfortable with sympathy. The more we seek it, the more we start to rely on it. We start to expect others to comfort us every time we face a challenge, and soon that becomes the only way we know how to deal with adversity. Instead of facing our problems head on, we look for people to listen, to say, "I understand," or "I'm so sorry you're going through this." And while that kind of support feels good in the moment, it doesn't lead to growth. Growth happens when you take ownership of your situation and find ways to overcome it, not when you depend on others to make you feel better about it. Another issue with constantly seeking sympathy is that it keeps you in a mindset of victimhood. When you focus too much on the pain, on the difficulty, or on how unfair life seems, you begin to identify with the struggle itself. You start to see yourself as a victim of your circumstances rather than someone who has the power to change them. And when you view yourself as a victim, you give away your power. You begin to believe that your problems are too big for you to handle. And you start looking to others to save you. But the truth is, no one can save you but yourself. You are the only one with the ability to transform your life. Sympathy can also prevent you from seeing the solutions that are right in front of you. When you're focused on getting others to understand your pain, you're not thinking about how to solve the problem. You're not taking action. You're just reliving the issue over and over again, hoping that someone else will provide the answer. But solutions rarely come from outside sources. They come from within, from your own ability to assess the situation, to think critically, and to take steps toward a resolution. Not everyone who listens to your problems has the best intentions. Sometimes people might listen not because they genuinely care, but because they're curious or worse. They might use your vulnerability against you. When you rely on sympathy from others, you open yourself up to judgment, gossip, or even manipulation. People might offer comforting words to your face, but behind your back they may be discussing your problems with others, or worse, using that information to undermine you. By keeping your struggles to yourself, you protect your personal power. You shield yourself from those who don't truly have your best interests at heart. There's a big difference between seeking help when you need it and constantly seeking sympathy. Seeking help is proactive. It's about finding solutions and taking action. It's about recognizing when you need guidance and knowing where to find it. Seeking sympathy, on the other hand, is passive. It keeps you stuck in the problem without pushing you toward a solution. And the more you rely on sympathy, the harder it becomes to break free from the cycle of victimhood and start taking control of your life. I want you to understand this: your problems are your own to solve. Yes, it's okay to ask for help when you truly need it, but don't get stuck in the habit of seeking sympathy for every challenge you face. Sympathy is fleeting. It feels good for a moment, but it doesn't lead to long-term solutions. What will change your life is your ability to take responsibility for your situation and to act on it. Don't wait for others to validate your pain or to give you permission to feel the way you do. Instead, focus on what you can do to change your circumstances. Focus on action, not on seeking comfort. At the end of the day, your strength comes from within. The more you rely on yourself, the more resilient you become. You start to realize that you don't need others to understand your pain in order to overcome it. All you need is the determination to face your challenges and the willpower to keep going no matter what. So, ladies and gentlemen, let go of the need for sympathy and instead embrace the power of action. That is how you truly rise above your problems. There's something we all need to understand about life. Our vulnerabilities are like open doors. When we share them too freely, we expose ourselves to potential harm, misunderstanding, and even manipulation. Protecting your vulnerabilities is not about being secretive or shutting people out, but about safeguarding those sensitive parts of yourself that others might not always handle with care. Not everyone in your life will have your best interests at heart. And that's why it's crucial to recognize the value of discretion when it comes to your personal struggles. When you openly discuss your problems with others, you assume they will respond with kindness and understanding. However, the reality is that people's reactions can be unpredictable. Some may sympathize, others may judge, and a few might even exploit your situation. This is why it's essential to be selective about whom you share your problems with. Not everyone is equipped to handle your vulnerability with the respect and care it deserves. When you offer up your struggles to the wrong people, you risk inviting criticism, gossip, or worse, betrayal. Think about it. How many times have you opened up to someone only to have your trust broken later? Maybe they shared your private thoughts with others, or perhaps they used your weaknesses against you in a moment of conflict. These experiences can leave you feeling exposed, and more often than not, they teach us a valuable lesson. Not everyone deserves to know our innermost struggles. This doesn't mean you should build walls around yourself, but it does mean you need to be mindful of who you let in. There's wisdom in knowing when to keep certain things to yourself. Another important aspect of protecting your vulnerabilities is preserving your sense of control. When you share too much, you give away pieces of your narrative. Others start to shape the way they see you based on the information you've shared. They might judge your decisions or offer unsolicited advice, which can lead to doubt and confusion. But when you keep your struggles private, you maintain control over your own story. You decide how to handle your problems without the noise of external opinions. You keep the focus on your own thoughts and solutions rather than being influenced by the perspectives of others. Sometimes when we share our vulnerabilities, we're not looking for solutions, but for validation. We want others to tell us that it's okay to feel the way we do, or to reassure us that everything will be all right. While this can be comforting in the short term, it doesn't solve the underlying issues. In fact, it can make you more dependent on others to validate your feelings rather than finding strength within yourself. Over time, this can erode your confidence, making you more reliant on external approval. Protecting your vulnerabilities means trusting yourself to handle your emotions and your challenges without constantly seeking reassurance from others. Keeping certain struggles private allows you to process your emotions more fully. When you immediately share your problems, you might not have taken the time to fully understand them yourself. You haven't yet allowed yourself the space to sit with your feelings, to reflect on the situation, and to decide how you want to move forward. In that rush to talk to someone, you might even end up magnifying the problem, making it seem bigger than it is. But when you hold your emotions close, you give yourself the time to think things through, to understand the root of the issue, and to approach it with clarity and purpose. In addition, maintaining privacy about your struggles can protect you from unnecessary drama. We've all seen how quickly personal matters can spiral out of control when too many people get involved. What starts as a small issue can grow into a larger problem when others offer their opinions, judgments, or even spread misinformation. By keeping certain things to yourself, you avoid the risk of your problems becoming a topic of gossip or speculation. You keep your life drama-free and focused on what truly matters, finding solutions and moving forward. Protecting your vulnerabilities also helps you maintain your emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries are crucial because they prevent you from becoming overly influenced by the emotions and opinions of others. When you share your struggles with too many people, it can blur the lines between your emotions and theirs. You might find yourself swayed by their reactions, whether positive or negative, and this can cloud your judgment. But when you keep your struggles private, you maintain a clear distinction between your feelings and the outside world. This allows you to make decisions based on what's best for you, rather than being influenced by how others perceive your situation. In the end, protecting your vulnerabilities is about self-preservation. It's about recognizing that not everyone needs to know your pain or your struggles. It's about understanding that your personal challenges are just that personal. You have the right to process them in your own time and in your own way. By keeping certain things to yourself, you maintain your emotional autonomy, safeguard your mental well-being, and give yourself the best possible chance to overcome whatever life throws your way. Be mindful of who you share your struggles with. Protect your vulnerabilities not because you are weak, but because they are valuable. Your challenges, your emotions, and your personal growth are yours to handle. Trust yourself to navigate them without seeking validation or comfort from others. And in doing so, you'll find the strength you need to rise above. When it comes to dealing with problems, one of the most empowering things you can do is to learn how to work through them on your own. There's an immense strength that comes from relying on yourself, from knowing that no matter what happens, you are capable of handling it. When you constantly share your problems with others, hoping they will help you find solutions, you weaken that inner resolve. Instead of looking inward for answers, you look outward, hoping someone else will guide you through the storm. But the truth is, the most powerful solutions come from within. When you stop telling everyone about your problems, you begin to develop a deeper relationship with yourself, a relationship that is rooted in resilience, self-trust, and independence. Solving your own problems requires you to engage in critical thinking. When faced with a challenge, you are forced to analyze the situation, weigh your options, and consider the potential outcomes of your actions. This process builds mental toughness. Instead of relying on others to give you the answers, you learn how to figure things out on your own. Over time, this sharpens your problem-solving abilities, making you more resourceful and better equipped to handle adversity. The more you practice solving your own problems, the more confident you become in your ability to face whatever comes your way. When you keep your struggles private, you give yourself the space to explore solutions without interference. Often, when we share our problems with others, we open the door to a flood of opinions. People with the best intentions will tell you what they think you should do, how they would handle the situation or offer advice based on their own experiences. While advice can be helpful at times, it can also cloud your judgment. Too many opinions can confuse you, making it harder to see the path that is truly right for you. By keeping your problems to yourself, you eliminate that external noise. You can listen to your own instincts, reflect on your own values, and find solutions that align with your true self. Learning to solve your own problems also empowers you to take ownership of your life. When you rely on others to help you, it's easy to fall into the trap of blaming them when things don't go as planned. If their advice doesn't work out, you might feel resentful or frustrated. But when you make your own decisions and find your own solutions, you take full responsibility for the outcome, whether it's positive or negative. This sense of ownership is liberating. It allows you to fully embrace your successes and learn from your failures. You are no longer dependent on others to guide your life. You are in control. Another powerful aspect of solving your own problems is the personal growth that comes from it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. When you navigate these challenges on your own, you develop new skills, gain deeper insights, and discover strengths you didn't know you had. Each problem you solve builds on the last, creating a foundation of experience that will serve you in the future. You start to realize that no problem is too big for you to handle because you have faced difficulties before and come out stronger. This growth doesn't happen when you rely on others to fix things for you. It only happens when you take on the challenge yourself. Working through your problems independently also helps you develop emotional resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and no one is immune to hardship. But when you learn how to handle tough situations on your own, you become more resilient. You don't crumble under pressure because you know you've handled adversity before and you'll do it again. You don't need to lean on others for support because you've built the emotional strength to support yourself. This resilience is invaluable, not only in overcoming problems, but in maintaining a sense of peace and stability, even in the face of uncertainty. When you solve your own problems, you become a more reliable and trustworthy person. People will begin to see you as someone who is capable, someone they can depend on. You're no longer the person who is constantly seeking help or advice. You become the person others come to when they need guidance. This shift in perception is powerful. It elevates your status in the eyes of others, and more importantly, it elevates how you see yourself. You no longer doubt your abilities or second guess your decisions because you've proven to yourself time and again that you can handle whatever life throws at you. It's important to note that solving your own problems doesn't mean you should never ask for help. There will be times when reaching out to others is necessary, especially when you're facing something truly overwhelming. But there's a difference between seeking help when it's genuinely needed and constantly looking to others to solve your problems for you. The latter keeps you dependent, while the former empowers you. The goal is to strike a balance, knowing when to seek assistance and when to dig deep and find the answers within yourself. When you stop telling everyone about your problems and start solving them on your own, you unlock a new level of personal power. You become self-sufficient, resilient, and confident in your ability to navigate life's challenges. You learn to trust yourself and rely on your own inner wisdom, and in doing so, you become not only stronger but also more at peace, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you have the tools to overcome it. So the next time you're faced with a problem, resist the urge to broadcast it to the world. Instead, look within, trust yourself, and take action. You are more capable than you know. Thank you.